And also, when it comes to the whole beard and being the more grizzled, I'm this edgy character that once did this thing long ago, and that whole archetype. One thing that's making me think of is when the streamer that's being featured right now was talking about was talking about like content creation growth and some things around that. Oh my god, there are some things being mentioned where it's like, yeah, I would argue it's not as easy as just going at it and doing that. There's a decent bit that I would disagree with about that. But, I mean, when I hear streamers like, oh, there goes my friend. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, just give me a sec here. Let me build up some adrenaline. I feel like with a lot of streamers talking about like either growth or, whoa, what happened to my friend there? I feel like over my years of content creation, I've become a lot more, gosh dang it, of that archetype of where when I started out streaming, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I just want to do this because I want to like put smiles on people's faces and give them entertainment and stuff. But then you do it for a long time, and then you come to realize, like, there are so many people doing the exact same thing. Like, you don't stand out in that. That is so far from a unique idea that you do have to realize that you're not doing that for the idea of putting smiles on other people's faces. You have to recognize that that's something that you're doing for yourself. And that's completely okay if that's what you'd like to do. Like, it'd be a really good feeling to be the one yourself that's entertaining others. But it's not like you're providing something that they probably would be able to find elsewhere. Pretty much every single niche nowadays is like so dang oversaturated. And there's probably no shortage of content anyone can find in any respective game in the space of gaming here, or any content creation related field. Eagle Bear, we part ways after some dire events, and the events linger as we continue to move. Look above when you are in the western village in Archaea. You will find me there. Hold on, let me do this real quick, and then I'll keep on rambling here. Hold on. In Archaea. Hold on, let me just find this really quickly so I can be on my way, and then I can ramble while I'm moving. That's what I can do. It's Arcadia. Archaea. He'll be waiting. Archaea is waiting at a vantage point in a small town in western this. So, this here. So I'm just gonna travel here. Oh, I may as well redeem a quest while I'm over here. So, I mean, you do something like a corn contest. I don't know if that's something that's been tapped into yet. But, I mean, I have talked before on stream about how a lot of people have, oh, I can close that now, a bit of a main character syndrome. And that's something that I'll be talking about in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC video essay a little bit. Okay, I can close that now. I don't need that. And so, while I initially went in to content creation with the idea of like, oh, I'm just gonna make people happy and I'll be like so positive and uplifting, whereas nowadays I'm just the kind of guy where it's like, you want to get into streaming? Well, let me tell you about that and why you might not want to do that. Like, my mentality has definitely shifted over time, and I went from the baby-faced, super enthusiastic, like, oh man, I'm gonna get into this, it's gonna be amazing, to the this look that's now matching the character. And if I ever have the time to continue the Minecraft series that I started, the story that I was writing with that has to do with that. Like, my mentality towards content creation has very, very much changed.
What have you brought me?
Oh my goodness, the lip syncing is so weird. And there are still some things I believe very strongly in. Like, even if I'm a small content creator, I still want to be able to do what I can. And that's the reason why I do, like, so many charity events. Or why I do things like the, running the Fragapalooza Smash tournaments here and doing my best to include as many people as I can and make people happy. Why I do things like 3D printing dragons to give as, like, additional prizes this year, which people have seemed to really like. The dragons have been, like, really positively receptive. Recepted? Is that a word? Received. And,
So
I've got a lot of people asking me about them. And like, I realize that is, I don't know, it's a riddle.
Silly riddle.
What?
And I realize that
The tortoise arrives at the
as a
point
small
that
content
he
creator, if I'm
is
doing
fixing
things
the
like
transaction.
24-hour cherry
But
streams,
after
the
Achilles
amount of money I
arrives at the
raise
same
isn't
time,
gonna be
the
like
tortoise
some
has moved on.
breathtaking, staggering
By the time
amount.
Achilles
Like,
arrives
it's
at the
usually gonna
tortoise,
be
you
pretty
spot
modest.
the
But I
creature
still
has again
believe in
moved further.
doing it when I
Shows
can
how the
and
universe
making what
divides
kind of
itself
impact I can.
infinitely.
Even if, like, I have a very small channel at the end
Zingo
of the
was
day.
clever.
But
Every knowledgeable old man I've
the whole
ever
idea of I'm gonna go out and be like a positive influence and I'm totally gonna grow and keep on being a positive influence, I don't really believe that much in that idea anymore. I would just kind of make content and whatever happens, happens. But no matter what level I'm at, I won't stop trying to do what I can to make the world a better place. But it's no longer from the idea of, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring entertainment to people and put smiles on their faces. Like, if people are really enjoying the content, then great. But I'm sure I'm just like, what's the one image there? Also, who's adding me? Is that in the Frag Discord? That's another paper. That's for the paper airplanes and stuff. Where's the, let's see here. If I pull this up really quickly. Like, when someone says that they get into content creation because they want to be entertaining to people and put a smile on people's faces and stuff like that, they're... Oh, I need to do display capture too. They're basically like this. They're... I mean, let's be real, that's what's going on here. So, I feel like my overall mentality towards this has become a lot more of negative Nancy. But I still want to continue doing what I can. Pythagoras invented triangles. And,
invent the triangle?
but a lot of people would say that I'm negative, but I just try to handle things a lot more realistically nowadays. But yeah. So yeah, like that mythic. You get told you're negative a lot, but feel like you're just honest. But yeah, it's hard right now to do almost anything, for sure.
I think I found everything.
Alright, I did the thing where Bob.
I can finally form my grand
Computer
theory.
enthusiast?
The
Until
theory that
CPU crashes,
simultaneously
GPU price hikes
divides
with
and
minimal
unites all
performance
the
gains,
universe.
Asus warranty scandal, etc. Gaming enthusiast? Activision Blizzard exists, Nintendo actively regulating how people use the products they purchased. Yeah, I sometimes worry about, like, the frag stuff. Like, with that all. Car enthusiast? Well, nobody can afford cars anymore, so enjoy the pretty pictures and occasional meets, I guess. Yeah. What is your theory?
Using the
So, like-
theorems as evidence, I intend to prove that the universe is divisible into infinitely smaller parts.
But yeah,
As
I
we
u-
break reality
I
down,
used to believe with
parts
content
shrink,
creation that
and
anyone could
space
get into
between
it and,
grows.
like, grow. I mean, I still believe that, but in a different way. I used to believe that, like, with enough hard work into content creation,
Although
like,
I
anyone
aim to
could
prove
eventually
that the
do it.
universe is divisible,
Now it's like, I believe
I hope
anyone
that the theory
can
be
do it
used
if they get really lucky. I do realize I've had a decent bit of luck to even get to where I am. Like some of my video essays popping off as much as they have. I recognize that. I'm not gonna lie to myself here and be like, oh man, that content I made is just like so good. And I'm like such a good content creator that it deserved that to happen. No, it was lucky. That's all it was. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, that won't stop me from being proud of the content that I put out. I'm thinking that's good. But I'm not gonna say that, like, the level of quality is just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the thing that's gonna, like, slingshot me.
What?
What? I wasn't paying attention. I was rambling about other things. So I've been paying attention to this.
Let's go.
You're right. This time I will do it properly.
I never would have guessed you were a lover.
Well, I wasn't. My theory that all atoms exist.
Time, let's do it properly. I could just leave.
is a bit like the life
I'll do
Not
it.
anymore. Now you
Really
feel it?
quickly.
maybe.
I guess.
Maybe
I'll
what
really
feels
quickly do
deeper
it.
than what draws us together
So, anyway.
is love.
Save that line for the
Like, whoa. So, like, whoa. And to streamers that do kind of say the things that I would have felt like at the beginning of content creation, and like hearing being talked about there on Frag stream there, talk about that kind of thing. I do want to establish I'm not bad mouthing anybody that feels that way. Like I don't care. People can feel however they want about like any given subject. It doesn't affect me. I'm not trying to insult like any content creators that feel that way. Like that is absolutely a perfectly valid way of feeling. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not what I feel anymore. And those are the reasons why. But yeah, whenever I hear stuff like that, where it's just like, oh yeah, anybody can do it with enough hard work, or like, I'm doing this just because I wanted to create like a positive environment, welcoming community, and all that kind of stuff, it's like, alright, like, those could be your goals in one sense, but they're your goals in the sense of like, that's something that you wanted to do and didn't want people to be receiving that from another source. That's perfectly fine. Like, it's like really self-fulfilling to be able to achieve something like that. Oh my god, in your life. But with how oversaturated content creation is, you do have to recognize that it's not like you're providing something that isn't offered elsewhere. Like, it just isn't the case. And I recognize that with my content, but I'm doing this for my own enjoyment, my own fun. I mean, a lot of long series is like Assassin's Creed here. As I mentioned before, I kind of treat like journal entries where I like to talk about the stuff that's going on in my life in recent times. Or showcase like cool things that are going on, like Fragapalooza here. Because my channel is basically the closest thing that I have to a journal. And it'd be cool to be able to look back on things and be like, oh yeah, that's what was going on in my life at that point, you know? Oh my god. What is going on here? So like, I'll still absolutely use this as like a tool to make a positive impact when I can. What with the, oh my god. With how much I do for different charities. Like, all the time on the channel here. But I do recognize that it's not gonna be like any super massive impact. It's just like, hey, I can do a little bit of something, so let's do a little bit of something. Like, and of course oh my god. And of course I obviously think that it would be cool to be able to bring it to the point one day where I could have enough influence that if I did like a 24-hour, dang it, why are there so many mercenaries here? If I did something like a 24-hour charity stream, I could actually make like a significant difference for an organization that absolutely deserves it. That would be amazing if that was something within my power. But it never has been, and I don't think it ever will be, just to be realistic about it. But yeah, I've had some good news in recent times though. Google was convicted of monopoly, finally, nice. And what's up with these people? Pretty sure if you were stabbed with those swords even once, you would fall over. Yeah, that's what happens when you play in nightmare mode.
I never would have guessed.
And I have my damage buffed up like so high. But everyone is a crazy damage sponge in nightmare mode. How much money do I have? Should I just pay off all bounties because they're annoying? Where do you do that? Oh, it's 4K. Oh, whatever. Whatever. So, like, why am I not going very fast? Oh, there we go. I feel like I've basically turned into, like, the content creation Grinch who's also, like, positive about it in a different way. Like, my tone towards it has, like, very, very much changed. Oh. So yeah, I need to kill these guys. That's what I gotta do. And if I ever have time to finish like the story that I was telling in my Minecraft series, that's the story that I want to kind of illustrate that. Where it's like, hey, it's really easy to feel this kind of way. Like self-important and deserving of these kinds of things. And to feel useless and awful when things don't pan out the way that you expect, and be blaming yourself and having all these negative feelings. But like, you shouldn't be feeling like that. Like, you don't need to beat yourself up over these things that you can't control. Just give it your best and make sure you're, oh my god. And make sure you're not going into things with expectations of the way that they're gonna pan out. Do the best you can and be doing what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled.
They killed her.
You know?
For it to end like this.
I do think that that's like a very important idea to express, so I'd love to express that in that Minecraft series if I get the time to see it through. But I do realize that that's probably only ever going to be seen and recognized by, like, I don't know, maybe like 20 people at the most over the years, considering the views on my Minecraft series up to this point. Like, I realize it's going to have, like, an extremely small impact, but it's still an idea that I want to express. And, like, I mean, it'd be cool if something like that ever had more reach, but realistically, I don't think that it ever will.
And the others. Read them to her.
So, yeah, there's that.
It's too late.
It's never too late.
You can go.
So yeah, I'm a very different person than I was when I first started this channel.
You might have been
Like,
my student.
to the point that's not even recognizable. I don't know what I tell myself back in 2018, honestly. I don't know. And
I'll leave soon enough. But for now, I think I want for privacy. Take this and leave me to mourn, Cassandra.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to what was happening. I thought he was coming to, like, read a letter, and then maybe she tried to kill us, and that was her. I don't know. Where am I going? I marked the this. I didn't mark the this. I'll remark the this. It took away my marker after I died. But yeah, also, Stop Killing Games EU petition is at over 225,000 signatures after a bit over a week when it has a year to hit its goal of 1 million. What's Stop Killing Games? What is this petition? Does that have to do with, like, games as a service, or just where it's like games can just be taken away and stuff is being lost to time? There's a lost to the void, making things like impossible to play, or things that are live servers that go down, something like that. Like, I can hazard a guess here at many things that it could mean like that, because there are definitely a lot of problems like that that exist within the gaming industry. Then I was about to say something else, and now I forget what it was. That was going to have to do with that. Gosh dang it, what was it? Man. Oh, I remember what it was. Let's try to not forget it after I read this. But the service game is being shut down generally. It kind of became a big thing after Ubisoft shut down the crew. I gotcha. I gotcha there. Yeah, it is definitely a significant problem. I still remember what I want to say. Let's try to not forget after I select a thing here. What do I want? Have this last long. I don't actually use it very often. I don't know. I keep on forgetting I have that. Here, let's do this. That's not half bad. Sure. I use that sometimes. Not very often, but I use it sometimes. Anyway, there's also a lot of people that go into consecration with the idea that they just need, like, one lucky break, and then they'll ride that success, and they'll make it. Oh, no. Oh, no, that doesn't happen. I have several videos on my channel with over 1 million views. My live streams are still more often than not less than 10 people watching. Like, that does not make any difference. I've been rated for over 1,000 viewers before, and the amount of people that stuck around in the stream after that point and became, like, regulars, like, new viewers of the channel, 0. Nada. Not one. Or going to events like Fragapalooza here and helping run the Smash tournaments, for example, where I'm constantly talking in person to all sorts of people here as I'm running the tournaments and getting everyone set up for their games and chatting with people and doing, like, post-tournament interviews and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever had a single person from Fragapalooza that met me through Frag, like comes to my streams, or anyone involved with, like, any of my tournaments. Like, I'll still try to do, like, my best and make everyone have fun, print, like, all sorts of prizes with Dragon stuff here, but I'm not going into that with the expectation that anyone is going to, like, find my stream from that. In fact, despite the fact that I'm, like, here doing this, I think a lot of people don't even realize that I'm streaming a lot of the time, because I've had some people ask, like, wait, are you a streamer, or is this being streamed? I had some people ask me during the doubles tournament, like, is there a live stream where it can be found when I've been sitting here, like, commentating, moving back and forth, doing the whole thing there. Like, it's not really going to bring new people in. So whether you get, like, a big raid, get a whole bunch of views on, like, a handful of videos, or get involved with, like, a really big organization in a venue full of, like, several hundred people, and run several of the tournaments or other events going on at that venue, it's not really going to make a difference, and I've come to recognize that, and that has very much influenced my mentality when it comes to content creation, where it's so funny, where it's like, yeah, the idea that I had at the beginning of just, like, keep at it and I'll get there eventually. No, that's not really how it works. Here, let's just go ahead and get this viewpoint. So, yeah, I am. You could say that it's a lot more negative now, but I just prefer to see it as a lot more realistic. And it's not like that kills my motivation to stream. I still want to keep on doing this. I still have fun doing this, and I do get a sense of fulfillment from doing it. And when we do things on this channel that do have, like, a tangible impact through my actions, whether that be doing 24-hour charity streams that raise money for a good cause, even if it's not, like, any substantial amount, or doing things like printing a whole bunch of dragons and putting a whole butt ton of work in here and, like, destroying my body to manage 3 tournaments during this event so that people have fun and are up there laughing, having a good time, and everything's under control in the tournament and not getting too out of hand organizationally. Like, everything goes smoothly and people are able to go up there and have fun. And that's a good thing that makes it worth it to do. Like, and I recognize that by doing these things, it's probably not ever going to result in any, like, payoff or major progress on my part. But I no longer put that kind of expectation on it like I probably would have in 2018 of like, oh, if I just do a whole bunch of stuff like that, then surely I'll grow and this is gonna be amazing and yada yada. No, that's not how it works. So yeah, that's the way that my content creation perspective has kind of changed over time, and I am very, very different from myself all these years ago, and many streamers that are still in that same kind of mentality. And yeah, I don't know how best to put it into words, but that's kind of how I feel about that. And then talking about like some of the things I heard remind me about that. And then looking at the grizzled look and how things have changed, it just kind of made me think about that. And that was something that I wanted to get off my chest there. That's something that I've thought about for a while. It was not something that I was planning on like discussing on stream. Sometimes I go into streams like, oh, today I'd like to talk about this. That was not like my intention here, but I had things remind me of it, and I just kind of felt like talking about it because
He's even sneakier than me.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I want to express my thoughts, or sometimes by speaking aloud, I can kind of gather my thoughts, justify things, throw out things where it's like, okay, maybe that isn't as much the case as I thought it was, or whatever. So, yeah, there's the talk on that. Ubisoft, during the shutdown of the crew, also revoked all PC licenses for access to the game from their launcher. That made people really mad, and it snowballed into this petition that may actually help a lot with game preservation. That'd be good. Here, let's do this. Let's synchronize. So, yeah, I feel like I very much went into content creation very green, very naive, and now it's like I'm the grizzled veteran that's like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. If you do it, you gotta do it for you. And if you're doing it for reasons like, I'm gonna make people happy with my content, then you gotta realize that first and foremost, that's for you. That's how I feel, at least. Hi, how's it going?
Do you ever rest?
After Macedonia, after the Huntsman, nowhere in the Greek world will ever be safe. Not for us. We can never rest. We can never stop running.
Never find peace if you keep moving.
Actions?
Is my microphone on mute?
Sounds like a lonely life.
OBS is lagging so much, it's not really giving me feedback in time. Maybe I should just leave it unmuted. Or I can just mute it by pressing the button directly on my microphone. Maybe I will, because that gives me feedback.
That's why I sent the note.
Trouble?
We came to Achaea seeking a ship bound for distant shores. A simple plan, but like so many simple plans,
It got complicated.
that fleet is bound for Patre. It's not the first. Something there is not right. Relentless military patrols, naval blockades. Natakas went to secure us a boat out, but he hasn't returned.
Okay, so what do you think happened to your
You must
kiddo,
have
huh?
some idea about the
Hopefully my
flight
microphone
to
picked that
Natakas.
up, because OBS feedback is so dang
Most keep to
laggy
the
that I
shadows.
don't even know.
With this much military power stationed in Achaea, he's more likely hiding than...
He's out there, Darius.
Okay, so what is happening
What do
in
you think is
Patrai?
going on here?
something big. Natakas may have learned more about what's happening there. It could be the Order.
All the more reason to find him.
Okay, we'll
Natakas
find
won't be
your
hard to
kiddo.
find.
He took that road to Patre.
Then that's where we start.
Follow me.
Whoa, fan service.
I've done it from higher.
Hey! Hey, you!
Roof guard.
You on the roof!
You on the roof.
That's not your roof!
You're right.
Okay, that was pretty good. He's gone now, by the way. That's pretty funny.
Follow me!
That is actually pretty funny. A little Assassin's Creed joke there. I actually like that. That's not your roof. Always people jumping from roofs around here.
We
I
will,
better put down
Darius.
more hay.
We will.
That was pretty good. I like that one. That was fun. All right. This away we go. Places to be and all that. We're not exactly moving very fast, are we? Not exactly going
After
super
Macedonia,
fast.
But before I hear, what are you doing at
They're
that
having a great time. That's gotta be like 10 points there. Surviving.
Sounds boring.
You were hoping I would entertain you with
But yeah, I mean, also, last little footnote to add on about like the whole content creation perspective thing.
kept to the
I
shadows.
think if someone asks me about it, especially like in person, I might still be like more positive, or someone telling me that like, oh, they started streaming because they wanted to like put smiles on people's faces, and I'll be like, oh, that's great, that's awesome that you're doing that.
Not Natakas.
But
Keep looking.
like in my own thoughts and discussion here, it's like, yeah, it might not be the best way of handling things.
Heavy armor and blood.
Although
but no body.
it's not as often that you'll hear me articulating that, you know. But I mean, I try to be a people pleaser. I try to make people happy. That's just like who I am.
There is no sign of
But
Natakas.
like, I do also
Supplies and
believe
military
in
equipment.
honesty. Like, more so. So like, what's the best way to phrase it anyway? I think it caused that problem is the lack of hate. Blame the amount of roofing and down. Start living in
Up to the
homes. Yeah, do
mountains.
that.
Let's go.
I don't know how best to phrase it. Like, if someone asks me about content creation, like, should they do it? Like, I always say, like, if you want to do it, you gotta do it for yourself and don't go into it with expectations. Like, I don't lie to people or anything like that.
Natakas went this way.
But,
Sometimes you have to look further and think harder.
I don't know. If someone tells me that they're really, really struggling to grow, I'll just say, like, yeah, I know that it's
Natakas would know better.
really, really hard. And talk a little bit about that. And if someone asks me for growth advice, then I'll give them what I can. But I don't know. The amount of discussion that I was having earlier, I wouldn't normally get into, you know. Because it can be, like, really, really disheartening, you know? That's the case.
On it.
I don't know. But again, I definitely prefer honesty. That's the case. But I'm not always so honest that it's like someone asks me about that and it's like time to go in depth about like everything that's going wrong here or something like that. You know, it's the case. The healthy middle ground. Well, like there are definitely some people that I work with or have reached out to me about working with me. Like, I'm not gonna go into any specifics here, I don't think, but maybe during like some later stream, much later down the line. There's is he still coming with me? Where people will say or do something where I'll say like, hey, that's not cool for this reason. Or something like that. But that is like super vague. I have a couple examples in the back of my mind, but I'm not gonna get into them here. I've already brought down the mood enough. is the case. And I'm not entirely sure what it is that I'm trying to explain for. It's not really a middle ground that I take. I try to be honest but polite. That's what I should is what I should say. I try to be honest but kind. Is what you could say I do. But
They're searching for something.
Look at their body language. They
sometimes
want
I guess you
blood.
could say it's not easy to do both.
They'll get it.
And I know that
We
there's
need a
some
plan.
people, especially like ever
Natakas is
since
hiding here. He could
getting
be
like a
wanting to
small
head
channel established on the interwebs here. Like, I know there's some people that probably hate my guts for that reason. But that's just who I am. Sure, be stealthy, I don't know.
We can pick
Let's
off
go
the
kick
guards
them all.
one by one.
A wise plan, Eagle Bearer.
But that's who I am. I wanna be honest. And I don't know if my microphone is picking it up, but I hear the thing that's being discussed on the current featured stream is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Oh, and it lagging a lot.
I should watch my step.
Is the case.
Quietly, Eagle
But yeah, what a
You take that one.
absolutely awful game that was.
This kid's mine.
Here, let's just do this.
Good kid.
I was gonna say an absolutely dog shit game, but someone was walking by me right at that moment. Also, I try to keep swears down a bit more at Frag. Family friendly event, even if I'm playing an M-rated game. And even if I'm not on the Fragapalooza stream, because we never got around to setting that up for me this time. I mean, I might follow up about it tomorrow. It might not be a bad idea to get it featured during the free-for-alls. Screw it. Look, I'm still stealthing. They can fight for me. Look, I did it without alerting anybody. This guy's still checking bushes. Amazing. So, I mean... Oh, no. I didn't pick up on everything, but I just heard Pokemon Scarlet and Violet being discussed. And then the phrase, I hope that the next because of that, I hope the next console is a bit more powerful. No, please not. The blaming of Scarlet and Violet's performance on the
Told
Switch.
you we'd meet again. Trust me, I
Anyway,
said.
no, I'm done talking about that.
being
I'm
right
not
all the
gonna
time.
criticize other streamers that are here. That's not a cool thing to do.
Well,
I recognize.
I'm glad to see
No
you
more of that.
again.
I came
And
for
I'm
you.
glad to see you. When I heard you might be in trouble,
You jumped on your horse and raced to the rescue?
I'm not sure you needed rescuing.
Still.
My son.
There's something else.
We need to find my mother.
There are still people who need our help. People who have been stranded in Archaea. The soldiers took them to a fort, not far from here.
Okay, I'll go
I'll
to
go
the
there
fort,
now.
I guess.
More
Sure.
soldiers could
Keep
come
on
looking.
doing this
If we
main
leave the
quest
bodies
line.
out here, it may attract unwanted
Oh,
attention.
if I stealth killed
I'll
them, they
gather
would have
the
all been
others
sent to
while
the
you
Shadow
hide the
Realm.
bodies. The stranded people are at the fort, on top of the cliff. Return safely.
Bring my mother back to me, please.
I should go to the fort.
Man, the voice acting is amazing, isn't it? Hope the next console have some actual games on them. I mean, the Switch has a lot of games, but yeah, PS5 and Xbox Series X it is now. I mean, the PS5 has, what, like, less than a dozen exclusive games? And the Xbox... If I think about it, I honestly don't know if I can name a single Xbox exclusive game. No Call of Duty, woo, but Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming out this holiday season. It's going to have a PS4 and Xbox One version. Really? There's a point in buying a PS5 or Xbox Series X. You get a spare controller that then you can use when you're doing PC gaming and your original controller breaks. This is the reason why you buy a PlayStation 5. Between the two, there's like 5 exclusive and 5 of those are on the PS5. Well, where am I going? Into the storm. They're held within the center of the Eremanthos Peaks. Hold on, let me find this first. Center. Sure. So go here. Some lights came on over there. I guess maybe because they're doing paper airplanes over there and they need to see what they're doing or something.
So we are getting
Yeah.
lights turned on for some practices with your paper airplanes.
Yep, I knew it.
Please
I
only do
guessed
your
it.
Practicing in
What?
the gym area on the
What?
east side.
Really?
Of the venue.
Yeah, the Switch's library is amazing. It's fantastic.
Get out there without your wristbands and you can't get back in. So
But yeah, the PS5 and
make sure you have
Xbox
your
Series
wristbands on
are
you
not
and
are not
practicing only in
fantastic.
that area.
Yeah, just buy one and then you have a spare controller, so you
Taking a
can
PC
play on,
and
continue to play on
bring it
PC,
back.
the superior console, when your original controller
Good.
breaks. That's what you do there. I mean, I'm around the center here. I'll maybe center like this way or something like that. I don't know. I'll just head this way and see what happens. So that's this way. I mean, I do recognize that there are some games that I would probably want to play on PlayStation 5 one day. But there's just so many games that I can already play on PC and Switch that I'm in, like, no rush to do that. So I figured, like, oh, maybe I'd buy a PlayStation 5 one day. Like, it's very much within the stream budget, but, like, they just don't really have any particular need to, per se. And then Guzma, when he managed to get one at, like, a pretty decent price that was originally going to go to his brother, when his brother didn't have any interest, he was just like, hey, Harmonia, you want a PS5 here? And I was like, what? And I ended up bringing a PS5 home on my trip from New Orleans, so I have my American PS5. And I have actually played, like, a game all the way through on it. I chatted about this a little bit earlier in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but having watched Last of Us Season 1 with my family, I ended up playing through Last of Us Part 2 with my family, just off stream. And I'll eventually play Last of Us Part 2 on stream, because I played Last of Us Part 1 on stream. So I will eventually do that. But it was like the first just full playthrough I'd done on my own time in a decent while. So I have played a game start to finish on the PlayStation 5. I'm starting to get used to the controller. I don't know, I guess I'll just head east here. So I have used it. I own 3 games right now. I own Last of Us Part 2, that I'll eventually play here. I own Bloodborne, because for whatever reason, Sony is like, oh, that's the one that's just gonna stay exclusive like forever and is never gonna go elsewhere. I own Final Fantasy 16, because that's the one game that Guzman requested, and considering he's the one that got like the entire console and gave it to me, it's like, I owe him at least that much. But I just don't have the time to start it. There's so much other stuff going on all the time. So, like, again, I could have gotten like a PS5 at any time, but I never did because like there's always so much stuff going on that I didn't have the time to be fully caught up on. That's like, what would be the point in me getting one if I can't even get to things for a while anyway? And now I do want to have like a little bit more priority on being able to get to that. But having a little bit of higher priority, I don't know. Go that way. I don't think that that'll be the center anymore. Oh, it's right here. That is so not the center. That is the west part of the Erymanthos Peaks. Are you kidding me? This is more what do I know? I mean, this is pretty centered. I don't know. Center westish. Anyway, so it is probably going to be like the next non-new game that I do. Next non-new game and non-prerequisite game. So it's like, I'm doing Metroid Prime 2 at this event, for example, in preparation for Metroid Prime 4. I started Mario & Luigi Partners in Time recently in preparation for Mario & Luigi Brothership. Like, these I count as prerequisite games, things I want to do before other things in the same series. But apart from prerequisite games and new releases, I do have that game high up on my list. I know Guzman was also saying, like, I want you to play something that you just genuinely want to play on it first before doing that. And now that I've played all the way through Last of Us Part 2 once, I could probably do it and not have bad time. And especially do it faster than a normal playthrough, because now I've played it once and I know what to expect. It's like, I could probably do it with some decent speed. It might only take me, like, I don't know, maybe less than 20 hours. Like, 4 or 5 streams, maybe 3 if I went ham. Like, I could probably do something like that. It might take me a little bit longer because it's grounded mode. I don't know. But that's a situation with the PS5 where it's like, hey, now I have access to this and there's a lot more games that I could pick up and play. A lot more games that I could pick up and play. But like, when the Switch library is so fast and the PC library is the PC library, it's like,
I see them.
the things that I have to play that I want to get through, it's not running out anytime soon. It's not like I was like, holy crap, a new console. Now I can finally play these other things I want to play, because my list is already so long. Like, it's cool to have it and stuff. Like, the graphics on it are really cool, I will say. I mean, it's same with my PC. The graphics on my PC are pretty cool. Like, I'm not really left for wanting here. I mean, sometimes they could be a little bit less laggy. Depends on how well the game is optimized, but yeah, I still have not yet used my PS5 on this, on the stream. And I think a little while back, Guzma was asking me, like, are you going to take the PlayStation 5 to Fragapalooza to play there? And I think I had said, like, wait, to play what? Oh, have anything I could play? And he was like, oh, yeah. Situations like that, where it's like... And it's so funny how when the PS5 first came out, like, it was so in demand that you couldn't find, like, a PS5 to buy just going into the store to buy it. For years. It was like you had found the forbidden, I don't know, treasure of Atlantis or something like that. That had been long lost to time if you got a PS5. And they were being scalped to all living hell. Everyone wanted one. But now, nobody wants a PS5. Everyone's starting to realize, there's no games on this. Because I think at the very beginning, everyone assumed that there was going to be a lot of games on it. So everyone was really excited for it. I wanted to get it early on to keep on playing games throughout its life cycle. And then there's just, it hasn't really been. They'll release a big game like every 1 to 2 years, something like that. And those big games that they release, like Horizon games, God of War, the Spider-Man games, from what I've heard, they are really, really amazing games. But they're so far and few between that does it really warrant getting a whole new console? And you look at something like Nintendo's releases, and it's like they're releasing games like literally all the time. Every single year, it's like, here's a new lineup of like a whole bunch of games coming out. And like, you can argue about the quality of them. Like, some of them are very, very overpriced for what they are, being full priced when maybe the game itself isn't always great. But at least they're constantly releasing games. And there's always new stuff being added. And even if not everything is of interest, there'll probably be something along the way that's of interest. I mean, the third-party support on the Switch is also amazing. So, I mean, But yeah, and let's see here. The last Call of Duty on PS3 was Black Ops 3, which came out only 2 years after the PS4. Interesting. So, I mean, that one kind of makes sense to be on PS3 as well. I mean, even after 2 years, that is a little bit surprising, but not out of the realm of possibility. But, like, things releasing on the PS4 now still is, like, really? It's astonishing how 4 years into a console lifecycle, it's still worth releasing last-gen versions of new games. Yeah, like Last of Us Part 2 Remastered that I own. And was cheaper than the original game because it was just re-released. I mean, hey, I'll take it being cheaper because I never owned the original game. Yeah.
Can I borrow wired switch that you
For playing there? I mean, I have controllers and I have wired.
Not for playing there, for playing
Well, that's what I meant, is like the stuff that was used there.
Yeah.
I have cables and I have controllers. None of them are specifically wired, per se. That's his, so I'm not going to give that cable. It's so dark in here, what the heck? This is the bag that I put them. That is one. Oh. And your tag was again... Cap... Okay, I remember that. So just in case I don't find it, I'll know where you are. Here you go. Alright, anyway, let's see here. Alright, let's see here. What am I missing? But yeah. Oh yeah, I read that comment about still worth releasing last-gen versions. Vertically centered? Wait, now I probably missed the context of that. Sony, everyone buy our new console. We've produced 4. Yeah, they really didn't produce all that many in the beginning either. I don't know how in demand it was, because everyone assumed that they were going to be making a lot of games. Also, a lot of them go to PC after a year or two anyway. Yeah, and it's like, because there's no shortage of other games that you can play on PC, and something like the Switch for those that own a Switch like I do, it's like, does it really matter waiting? Like, if you really want to play something at launch, then you can play it at launch if you own the, like, actual hardware that it was designed for. But if you don't really care about playing it at launch, like me for some of those, then it's like, you just wait and then they come to PC. Like, that's what happened with Last of Us Part 1, and I played it on the channel before I owned a PS5. Did I quick save before coming in here? Well, just to be safe. I mean, quick save here. And, like, I do understand the argument about console exclusives being anti-consumer, forcing you to buy a console to be able to play some specific game. But at the same time, console exclusives are what give, like, the definition to a console. Like, what do you think of when you think of that console? The reason to own it, and what that console's soul is, you could say, essentially. I couldn't find a better word. Like, that sounds so corny when I say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, imagine it in a word that's less corny, and I couldn't think of anything less corny in time. But yeah. And really, the Ratchet & Clank game there is on PC. Really. Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PC soon, if not on PC now. It has a Steam page. Huh. God of War Ragnarok is coming to PC in September, so like right around the corner here. Me as a PC gamer, builds a new PC minus the GPU, the most important part for just under $1,000 USD after tax. Also me, PS5 isn't worth $500 USD. Yeah, you could argue that a console will save money on being able to play games while they run pretty well. But at the same time, like, you get a lot more use out of a PC than just games, depending on what you're doing with it. Like, I do a lot of video editing and streaming, and of course, then it makes sense for me. If you just want to play games and don't care about being able to close the game and just do PC things, then, like, it's fair enough. So who am I to judge console gamers? Yeah, that's fair. That is fair there. They are definitely a whole lot more cost-effective. There's no doubt about that. But it's so... What are you suspicious about? But it's so nice being able to play the game, close the game, open another game, go look something up online. Find and free the stranded people. I haven't been paying attention to the story. I've been rambling about all sorts of different things. I kind of fully expected that that would be going on at Fragapalooza. Like, even more so than my regular streams already do. Uh-oh. I don't have to sell this, though, right? Just saying, though, for anything except racing games, it'll take a keyboard and mouse any day. That's fair. I've gotten so used to mouse and keyboard to controller. There's not a lot of games that I play with mouse and keyboard, even though I probably should at some points for some things. Like, any game that I play where there's stuff like shooting involved, like aiming, like Last of Us Part 1, I probably should have played it with mouse and keyboard realistically. But most of the time, I just don't. And then I can also, like, go into a more relaxed position like this.
And
I just
nice
kind of
dog
like
with
that,
Bronx.
even if my gameplay hurts. Like,
It's interesting to see what they're winning.
I don't necessarily need to make sure that you get out of here. I just need to free you. Wait a second, this is a good cliff. I actually kind of want to fight now.
There's people there. Bye, have a great time. Thank you.
Here.
We are off.
It's too fun. I don't know what I was saying anymore. Usually, whatever I'm talking about has my attention a lot more so than the game. But the moment I have like a good cliff that I can kick people off of, that changes.
Hello, young lady.
I wish that was better in sync, but oh well. Like, it starts as soon as I hit the inputs, so it's not like it can go any sooner or anything like that. So I mean... Okay. Hi. How's it going?
So long,
Come on. Oh, it wasn't charged up.
my back.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I need to free some people. Oh, there's a new DLC quest over. I don't care. I just want to do the main story of the DLC. I'm good. Anyway, oh yeah, it was mouse and keyboard stuff. I was just gonna say the one game that I don't really play it anymore, but that I played consistently with mouse and keyboard was Dead by Daylight. It didn't make too much of a difference as Survivor. A little bit. You could spin your camera faster, so it was easier to keep your eye on the killer. But it wasn't too bad on controller. Killer though, I don't know how the heck people play that with controller. Like, I get that if you're playing it on console you have to, but it is just like the most abysmal thing. I cannot play Killer on controller. It is impossible to hit like anybody ever. At the foot of the fort, that is this way here. Don't know why I didn't see that for a little bit. Hey, friendship tap. Hey, just saying, can you Twitch on a PS5? Not effectively. I can run it through my capture card like I do with my Switch. But I need to change some of my capture card settings
We are off.
because it doesn't seem to like it by default. That's the thing. It's a little bit weird. I wasn't getting input from it for a long time because I didn't realize I had to change like some weird settings. I think I needed to disable some of the video settings on the PS5 itself. Oh yeah, and a PC for that capture card. Yeah, that's fair. You're saying just on a PS5. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that like at first I was basically getting no video input to my capture card for my PS5 until I disabled this one graphic setting in my PS5 settings. So even if you do want to stream on like a PS5 rather than PC, it doesn't always play nice. Hi, how you doing? If you weren't my friends, I'd kick you off the cliff there because it's so tempting. But yeah. I mean, to you, getting easy access to mods is worth a PC investment? Yeah. Your games are a lot more customizable there. And you can do things like play around with save data like I did with my Elden Ring playthrough.
Thank you.
Like, if I was doing that on console, I would have absolutely been locked into my mistakes that I would have soft-locked myself into. But because I play on PC, I can just make backups of my saves and delete the old saves, put in my backups, and do whatever I want as I please. It's awesome. I'll definitely do some Elden Ring at this event at some point. I don't know when. I'm feeling more awake after rambling about all this crap. And maybe I should be paying more attention to the story. Oh, what was that?
Poseidon himself fears her.
Alright, who do I need to go kick?
House those who can't escape the Tempest's wrath.
Just tell me who I need to kick, and I'll go do it. I'll do
But I
it.
can't stay here forever. The harbor is closed. Soldiers are combing the area looking. I'm working on a plan to get them out of Achaea. If
My
you can
throat is
help
getting
me,
so dry. Like, it
come
feels like the
find
end of a
me in
24-hour cherry stream. 'Cause that's the way that I got to Fragapalooza too. By the end on Sunday, like, my
She
throat
knows
is gonna
more
be
than
so
she says.
hoarse.
It doesn't matter.
Especially if it's already hurting now.
Amorgus and the rest will not forgive our actions. And
Amorgus!
Amorgus will not forget the huntsman's
God, I
death at the
can't
hands
see
of
it
the
now.
tainted
How did I
one.
not think of that
His
before?
cunning is sharper than
Man, if
any blade.
Guzmo was here right
They
now
already
at
beat
Fragapalooza this year, he'd probably lose his mind
learning
laughing.
from our movements,
that-
from our choices, discovering our weaknesses.
The stranded people come from both foreign lands and all over the Greek world. Merchants, farmers, sailors, families. They're being imprisoned and interrogated. They're being asked about Macedonia. These people are suffering because the Order is looking for us. These people need our help. We have to do something. Isn't this what we're fighting for? Aren't they worth the risk?
We can't save them. Not if the Tempest is still strong. We need to hit her hard. It's the only way to get the stranded people home.
We should get started.
Sure. What are you gonna do? Go to a
Pathway is
gaming event?
overflowing with the Tempest forces. I'll look for leads there about the closed harbor, and maybe more about the Tempest herself.
What do you think about Kletta's plan?
There's more to the
Later.
Tempest tale than she's telling, but she needs help. The people in Bura need help. They could do with someone like you.
Then I'll pay her a visit.
What is
Your
Darius
father sure
doing?
knows how to make an exit. Where did he go?
He's been following up on some leads in Patre. Look for him in the hull of a ship near the Patre harbor. He's made a small hideout there.
Okay. I was about to say, seemed like a
Just the
weird,
three
like,
of us?
obscure
The
place.
Tempest doesn't
But if he's
stand
trying
a
to be
chance.
secretive, it does make
You'll
sense.
break her,
So, I mean... By break her, I mean kick her off a
and
cliff.
then you'll be free to leave the Greek world forever.
What, are they developing feelings here or something?
I'll go to
What's
the
with these
harbor
looks?
and track down the Tempest.
She can't be the only Order member in Achaea. I'll keep an eye out for the others.
See you soon, Cassandra.
Would it be the same if I was playing Alexios? So, I mean, this game is pretty equal across both from my understanding.